Good morning, everyone, and say hello to the Disney Wish. This is Disney's latest, greatest, perhaps greatest, ship in their fleet, and I am so excited to be aboard before you know it. There's a lot of hype around this brand new ship because it's a totally new design for Disney and the Disney Cruise Line fleet. I am personally super excited to step aboard. It's going to be happening before you know it. It's going to be great. But in today's video, I really want to focus on the maiden voyage and the inaugural season of some of these brand new ships that are coming to different fleets throughout the world, and whether or not it's a good idea to be on one of those first sailings. Now, you know me, I love cruising, can't get enough of it. And when I see a new ship come to the ocean, I say to myself, I can't wait to step on board her and explore all of the fun things she has to offer. That being said, if you look at the cruise line websites, not just for the Wish, but for Celebrity or Royal Caribbean, same thing. For the very first sailing, or first 3, first 5, 10, those sailings have a tendency to be extremely expensive compared to some of the other sailings that she has later on in her voyage schedule. This is because there's some hype around these brand new cruise ships, including the Wish, when they're first launched. Everybody wants to be on board, taking pictures, taking video, seeing all the amazing things that these new ships have to offer. And there's something to be said for that. There's an amount of hype that you get, and you get the bragging rights for sure. You get to say, I was there. I was there. I saw it before anybody else saw it right there. But does that mean that you're going to have more fun than someone who goes maybe 2-3 months later? I think you already know the answer to it. It's no. But the thing is, a lot of people say to themselves, oh, I want to be there first. And this fear of not being first, or fear of missing out, as some people call it, isn't really warranted on a cruise ship like this. The biggest reason, and I've heard it from crew and guests alike, biggest reason not to warrant any of that is because when a new ship comes to the port, some of those last minute details are still being ironed out when it comes for guests. We saw an example of this with the Wonder of the Seas by Royal Caribbean, the very first cruise, maiden voyage. People were on it, ready to have a good time, taking picture, taking video, and wouldn't you know it, there were a lot of mistakes. There were a lot of things that were not 100% ready for guests, whether that be water leakages or issues with the show, whatever it may be. These kind of things have to be ironed out as the ship is kind of going through those initial sailings. So being the first doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the most fun. In fact, it could mean that there are certain things that they're still working on, and either you didn't get to experience those, or maybe they weren't 100% ready for you by the time you saw them. In addition to that, you also would save money if you waited a little bit longer. So I had the opportunity to go on I think it was the third sailing of the Disney Wish. It would have cost me a lot of money, right, to go on the third sailing. I had a scheduling conflict, couldn't go because I had a friend's wedding, so I couldn't go to that one. And I was going to reschedule, but then I thought to myself, you know what if I wait 2 months, maybe 2 or 3 months, after it sails a little bit, gets some of those kinks ironed out, and then pay half the cost, half of what I was going to pay to step on board just 2 months earlier. You can't argue with those numbers. Every show is ready to go. Every little feature on board is 100% ready for all of the guests, and you pay half the price. It's something that is very difficult to argue with, and even though it's exciting to say you were the first, I think you can have even more fun if you wait till it's ready for you. Just think about it for a moment. Instead of paying double, okay, and going to experiencing it, having a great time, you'll definitely have a great time, you could hypothetically go twice, 2 separate times, experience it for maybe different seasons that it's sailing, maybe the holidays, maybe something else. It's something to consider when thinking about a brand new ship rather than just going once. Maybe go twice. If you go on the Wonder of the Seas right now, they've fixed everything. They fixed all the issues. It is 100% ready for us, and we're going on that amazing ship in the not-so-distant future. Now, in addition, think about the cost savings, right? So let's pretend you're only paying half the price. You could hypothetically go on another cruise. Maybe it's the same line. Maybe it's something totally new and different. More opportunities to go on that spectacular vacation, and you still had an incredible, amazing time. There's no downside here except for that internal feeling of, did I miss that first one? Something to think about. Now, don't get me wrong. I will for sure be on a different maiden voyages in the future. Other Disney cruise ships, maybe other Royal, Celebrity, those kind of ships when they come out in the future. I do plan on being on some maiden voyages. Not all of them, though. I want to be very clear. Some I'll be on, some I won't. There's a cost ratio that I'm weighing in my mind. But what I want to kind of explain is that even though you're not the very first one on the Disney Wish, doesn't mean that you and your family can't have a spectacular time when you step on board. And you don't have to feel like the whole time, oh, I'm not on the first one. I'm 3 months later, I'm 6 months later. You're still one of the first guests on a brand new ship that's going to be in service for more than 20 years. The cruise industry is doing a lot of exciting things, and I'm so excited to share so many of these adventures with you. Now, if you have follow-up thoughts on maiden voyages and being one of the very first guests on board a ship, do you think it's worth it? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think it makes a lot of sense to go first so you can see it first? Or do you think saving a ton of money and going just a little bit later makes sense for you and your family? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. A special thanks to our patrons for making all of our videos possible, and thanks to you for watching. Until next time, have a magical day, and I'll see you on board.